Vinay welcome to Bharat Mar. Thank you for joining us, and what a fantastic day today, Vinay. Yeah, you're talking about Justin Trudeau guide for fooling Canadians. That's what we are going to discuss about it today. And you are a pessimist or what? I am going to have some serious question because he is all working hard to bringing down the interest rate, and you are calling him gimmicks politician. Okay, let's discuss about it and why you say what you say. But before going further, friends, please make sure to like the video, comment on the video, share the video with as many people as you can, and also do know that we do have online Sanskrit classes. In fact, tomorrow we are going to have a free expert session on spoken Sanskrit at 10 p.m. on 10 a.m. on Indian Canadian Standard Time and 8:30 p.m. on Indian time. Okay, you are welcome to join, and also we do have. You can subscribe for our channel, and we send out one dharmic message every day in multiple languages. Now I just want to say we are going to start Telugu also, okay, very soon. So we are working on it, and you can join now, and by sending a WhatsApp to +16479644790, and you and your family can be really connected to the roots of Sanatan Dharma. Vinayji, Semi, what's a fault you are finding with Justin Trudeau? He is working hard, the poor fellow, to bring down the interest rate, he says. And you are saying, yeah, Justin Trudeau's guide for fooling Canadians. Please go ahead.
So let me start off this way. Justin Trudeau, the current Prime Minister of Canada, has not only fooled the people of Canada and somehow, been able to use his magic wand, if I may call it, to kind of sway the people to cast their votes in his favor for a second term. Although he did not get a majority, he is still the Prime Minister of Canada, okay, with the support of our pro-Khalistani leader, Jagmeet Singh. Okay. So, and just for the sake of the viewers, Khalistani organization is a terrorist organization that's banned by many countries, including India. And these guys were the people who were responsible for the Air Canada Kanishka bombing that took place several years ago in Canada. Okay, so now this man is the leader, and he supports the pro-Khalistani movement. So anyways, he is giving the support that Trudeau needs to kind of carry on his government for another year and a bit. Okay, the elections are due in 2025 in Canada, the federal election. And what he has done is not only has he made a fool of the people of Canada by swaying their votes in his favor, but he has also gone against his promises by not funding the provincial, the municipal, and other governments. Okay, so here's an example. All right, now Mr. Trudeau brought in several refugees from different countries, Syria,
and he's also planning to bring from Gaza around.
That's what he's planning as well. So he's been planning, and he brought in a bunch of refugees from all these countries. Okay, but without a plan, right? So he brought in this to make his image go up in the international world and in the public world, in the among the Canadian those elitist groups and stuff like that who have no care for the country, but they only care about these I should say stupid values or stupid dogmas or whatever you want to call it. And so Trudeau brought in these bunch of these people, and he basically sent them to different parts of the country. Okay.
Mhm.
So when the plane landed from Syria, for example, or from wherever, one plane landed in Toronto, one plane landed in Fredericton, and
And it is very difficult to come from Fredericton to Toronto. It's
that was his assumption, and then he brought the people to British Columbia, to Alberta, to various state, provinces and territories, right? And once that happened, basically what his intent was that he's going to get the provincial, the municipal governments to support them. But he also told them, hey guys, don't worry, I'm going to fund you. Okay. The federal government is going to fund you. And then he just dumped them in those cities or towns or villages or whatever. And he just basically took off into hiding. And when provinces and municipal governments tried contacting him, no response. Like Canada's prime minister missing in action. This is pretty much it. No response from
Mhm.
the Canadian federal government. No response from the prime minister's office. Nothing. None of that. Okay.
How about the deputy prime minister? She
Oh
is
wow,
pretty active.
she's a joke. Okay. So that's a topic for another day, because I don't know if you heard that just about a couple of days ago, a journalist straightforward went and asked her a question, and she did not like the question, so she got RCMP to arrest the journalist
Yeah,
right in
we
front
will
of the
talk
camera.
about it because Canada is all about law of the
Freedom
land
of expression,
and
freedom of speech, freedom
freedom
of
of
all the,
speech
and but this
and
person
right
was
to
arrested.
protest.
And his thing was like, why did you arrest me? Oh, sir, you have assaulted the deputy prime minister. Buddy, I did not even touch her. I'm holding a microphone and asking the questions. I'm sorry, sir, you've been
We
arrested.
will discuss about it, but what
Right.
do you means
So,
what's
so
wrong?
coming back,
He has to put the people somewhere in some city, right? That's what he did.
exactly.
You
So,
cannot
so
blame
what
him for
happened?
it.
I'm going to go now directly focus on the city of Toronto. All right. City of Toronto, basically, they were asked to provide shelter, which means provide homes to these refugees, provide support, frontline services, transit, housing, budget, safety, and mainly the refugee support, right? So that
Mhm.
amounts to about 200 and more than $250 million, almost close to 270 or 280 million dollars. Okay,
Mhm.
so this was what the federal government should have paid the city of Toronto to kind of support the
That
refugees.
is between them. What's a problem for me?
Yes, I'm coming to that. Okay. Now, $270 million, because it did not come from the federal government, the city government, the municipal government waited and waited and waited, but nothing happened. And apparently, there are 4,300 shelter beds that are being provided for the refugees. Okay.
Hmm.
And the cost for that is, and plus the food, and to maintain them, and blah
And
blah
these beds are
blah.
provided in top hotels.
Yeah, and
It's
also
not like
support them, right? You got to support them as well in terms of finance and stuff like that. And that's been dragging on for, the promise was that they will be given the support only for 1 year, but the thing has been dragging on. So the city's chief financial officer, that is Shelley Carroll, she made a statement just a couple of days ago that because the federal government refused to support the municipal government, which is the city of Toronto, and did not provide the $270 million, they have no choice but to increase the property taxes. Okay, so in an unprecedented move by the city of Toronto, the city mayor announced that the city is going to be increasing the property taxes by 10.5%. Okay, so
wow.
that is 9% plus 1.5% of levy on top of that, and that is for the building fund. and again, and they said that if the city does not keep up their promise in the next few weeks, right,
You
this
mean
10 and a
federal?
half, yeah, the 10.5% can increase to 16%.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And but you had to see something. You know, Justin Trudeau is working to bring down the interest rate. So
Yeah.
what's your problem with this? The interest rate
So
is coming down in
the
Canada,
interest
mortgage
rate,
rate.
the interest rate is it's a whole drama by itself. Okay. It's a gimmick. All right. So, and I'll tell you why. Because technically, rather than controlling the inflation by directly discussing and prosecuting, actually I should say, use the harsh word, prosecuting some of these big grocery stores and grocery companies, to make sure that they do not increase the price. Mr. Trudeau basically called a committee and he said, "Oh, bring the Loblaws guys, bring the Sobeys guys, and all these people, the owners, and then and discuss with them." And nothing came out of it. Okay,
Vinayji,
this was
Vinayji,
all a drama.
Vinayji. Sorry to interfere you. Now you sound like your buddy Jagmeet Singh.
Jagmeet Singh doesn't talk like me. If he did talk like me, he would have become prime minister a long time ago. So that guy
He
is
says the same thing about Justin Trudeau.
yeah, but he's still supporting the government, right? Because he's got some ulterior motives there. So anyway, so rather than the Trudeau government, rather than attacking the crux of the problem at the grassroots level, right, they basically said, "Oh, let's increase the interest rate." So what happened by doing that was, he was thinking, by increasing the interest rate, you're basically you're curbing or curtailing the amount of money that a person in Canada would spend. Because now what's happening is, a person in Canada has so much money, an average person I'm talking about, so much money, disposable income every month, to spend on groceries, to spend on his own shopping and this and that, eating out, entertainment, blah blah blah, right? But what happened was, by increasing the interest rate, the average person's mortgage rates went up. If he was renting an apartment, his rental rates went up. Now, as a result, his let's say he has a car loan. Even the car loan payments went up. Now, as a result of that, what has happened is, his disposable income reduced. So now Trudeau's argument is, oh, because his residual or disposable income reduced, now he's unable to buy the groceries that he should have. Like, if he was normally buying $200 worth of groceries to feed his family every week, now he's dropping it to about $150, because he doesn't have the $200.
Means let me
Plus,
put it in a,
plus,
let hmm,
keep in mind
let me
that
put it in.
with the $150, he's unable to buy the same amount of groceries that he could buy for $200. So he's not only reduced the quantity of groceries every week, but he's also reduced the amount that he's spending on
Let,
groceries because of the inflation.
let me put it in a way that a guy like me can understand. Okay, if the Canadians were eating three meal a day, now they have to cut down to 2 meal a day. Is it?
Exactly. Or if you were eating 3 meals a day with with 3 course meals, let's say, okay, each meal was a 3 course meal. You had appetizer to start off with, like salad and stuff, and then you had the main course, and then you had the dessert, right? Now, guess what? You either have to cut down both the appetizer and the dessert, or you have to cut down your main course.
Or the
Okay,
meal
because
itself?
you cannot afford all three. So this
Or
is
the
the
meal
problem,
itself?
right? So
Yeah.
this is what happened. And now Trudeau said, okay, we'll have to increase the rate. So he kept increasing the interest rate. The interest rate, which was 1.79 before all this happened, right, Today, it stands at about 7%. Almost how many times? 4 times. Okay. 4 times what it was.
But now you see, don't you think it is smart now because the property tax is going up? It won't affect him electorally because it is increased by the mayors. So now he can bring down the interest rate.
Yes, that
So
is the
people will
strategy,
be.
because the interest rate he has got, there was no reason, first of all, to increase the interest rate, but he increased it because he wanted to pinch the pocket of the Canadians. And I'm not sure what he was trying to accomplish, but it's all political at the end of the day, right? Now, guess what?
Now if he
Now,
brings
what he's
down
going
by
to do?
now
Now,
if he can bring it down by 3%, 4%, do you think that people
exactly,
will love
exactly.
him?
You're 100% right, because the elections are coming next year. Now he's going to slowly start. Deloitte is already forecasting, predicting that the interest rate should start dropping by April, May, which is second quarter of this year, right? So basically, what he's going to start doing is every quarter he's going to start dropping maybe 0.25, maybe 0.5%, and by the time the election is closed, he would have actually either gone back to where it was, or at least maybe reduced the interest rate, by half. Okay, so if it was 4 times, if it was 7%, now by next year we may be seeing 4% or 3%, or who knows, right?
And the property tax would have been like 10% increased in
Exactly.
that
So
way, and
now
it doesn't affect him.
either way, the consumer's pocket is being pinched, because now your interest rate drops, and you'll say, "Oh my God, Trudeau is such a nice guy because he reduced the interest rate." But what many people will not understand is this was all ulterior motive. But people are not stupid in Canada. People are extremely smart, and they are beginning to realize. And you're seeing that with the popularity voting that's going on right now. So the trend right now is Trudeau is somewhere in the 18, 17, 18% popularity, whereas his nearest rival Polivier, who's the Conservative Party leader, he's in the high 30s, which is a difference of more than 20%.
Wow.
So if
But do you think it
elections were
is
to happen
smart?
today, Polivier would win.
But do you think it is smart for him to keep cutting the what do you call interest rate at the same time? If the property tax goes up, like it is happening, like somewhere between 10 to 20% in Toronto, and I'm sure other cities will follow. You will able to say that better, you know. So if that happens, the blame will fall on the mayors, not on Justin Trudeau.
Exactly. This is what even Olivia Chow, who's the city Toronto mayor, right? She mentioned it, and she made sure that people understand in the city that, look, this is not my prerogative. It's not me who's doing it, but it's because we are forced to do it because of the federal government. But at
Yeah,
the
but
end of the day, right? When it comes to elections, people look at it this way. People look at it, okay, who reduced the interest rate? Trudeau did. So he's a good
exactly.
guy. Who increased the property tax? Is the city mayor. So she's a bad person.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
now that's how
She
they
will be the
look at it,
villain.
right? So I don't know if Olivia Chow would last another term, because she is now the bad person. She's increased the property taxes. But again, keep in mind that, to your other point, it's not just city of Toronto that's going to be increasing the property taxes. I'm pretty sure in the next few months you'll start seeing many cities around the GTA, especially, are going to start increasing property taxes. I've heard that in Kelowna, in BC, and in Alberta, some of the cities have already started increasing property taxes, and it's not going to be too far before we see property taxes across the country going up.
And it is 10 to 20%. That's a
Exactly.
lot of that's a
It's it's
lot of
it's all
money.
as a result of bringing in refugees. So, the whole blame is Mr. Trudeau's. He wanted to show the world that he's a hero, and he wanted to become the Time magazine year of the man of the year. He wanted to probably win a Nobel Prize for peace and all that stuff, right? And at the same time, the poor man, he doesn't have the thinking capacity, the IQ
But
to kind of
but
see the
you had
consequences.
to you had to understand something and agree with something with this poster. Okay, please. Where is he leading us? Who cares? He is so cute. You know, black
all
face.
this is all this is not going to last. Like I just told you, right? The city, I mean, the Canadians are not stupid. Okay, so it's like
It means they have been for two term.
people already know that, and that's the reason the Trudeau's popularity is going down. It's the there's a huge gap between him and Poilievre right now. It's about 20, more than
But
20.
let me ask you this one final question. One final question. We are almost done. Okay, that is means you say Poilievre popularity is high, which it is. But what is the magic wand he has? What is he going to do after he come? He never put out any financial structure. How he is going to cut down the interest rate? He never said anything. Only thing is he has been keeping quiet so that this guy can burn down by himself.
No. Poilievre is not as stupid as Mr. Pappu Gandhi in India. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so I would compare Pappu to Mr. Trudeau. Poilievre is a very smart and astute politician, and he's kind of a prodigy of Stephen Harper, who was, I would say, the best Prime Minister of Canada. Okay,
So, do you think? Do you honestly believe he can bring down the interest rate?
I definitely think he will. I mean, he already has a plan. Okay, and some of the stuff that I mentioned are not coming from my side. It's actually these are what Poilivre's vision and plan is for the country, right?
Okay.
So basically, what he wants to do is he wants to, when he comes into power, the first thing that he wants to do is reduce the deficit. Number one, okay, in the budget, right? And number two, the for the to reduce the deficit, obviously he has a plan. And number two is mainly he doesn't want to pinch the pocket of Canadians. He mentioned the other day, okay, for example, the cost of houses is so high in Canada, it's artificially inflated. Okay. And he said that, you know, a house, an ordinary house that you can buy outside of the, within the GTA, right? Which costs about 1.2, 1.4 million, right? In that range. For that kind of money, you can buy a castle in Scotland. A castle, okay, with some acreage. Now, this is what he was talking about. All right. So he like, and his thing is like, this is an artificially inflated situation. And first thing is he's going to reduce the interest rate, and at the same time make sure that the property value doesn't go up as a result, because
Absolutely.
people basically push the property value and increase the property value because it all got inflated, right? So these are things that
Absolutely.
he's got a plan. I mean, like, I'm not coming up with this myself.
Wow.
Okay.
But I'm sure every community is opposing him. Hindu community, I don't think any self-respecting Hindu will go and vote for Justin Trudeau after his
Oh, 100%.
attack on India, attack on Hindus, attack on Hindu temple. I don't think
even
any
even
Jew
the
will.
jewish even the Jewish people are
Yeah,
extremely
any
upset right now.
self-respecting Jew, unless until
Exactly.
you are a follower of George Soros, who also claims himself to be a Jew, they are not going to vote for him. I don't think a Muslim will vote for him. I don't think the freedom-loving white population will vote for him after the freedom rally atrocity. In overall, Khalisani vote
And
will
that is
be
the
there.
reason he's losing his popularity. So if you
Abs-
understand what's happening to Trudeau, he's kind of he's in his last leg of power. Okay. So
Absolutely.
unfortunately, in this country, it is difficult to overthrow a government. although his popularity is decreasing. So we'll wait and see. I mean, like, maybe they'll do a no confidence motion against Trudeau, and that may get passed in the parliament, and he may have to call elections.
Yeah, because this guy who is a talker, Jagmeet Singh may not able to
Yeah.
stand with him in some
No, one
cause
last
when
thing I
he.
want to say is, see, in this country, right? I mean, although they call Canada as a developed country and all that stuff, the elections are called by the person in power. Okay, if the elections can only be called by by Justin Trudeau in this case, because he's the Prime Minister of Canada, because in Canada they don't have anything called as an election commission, that is an independent body or something that actually calls elections and conducts elections. So this is the
Right.
unfortunate part in Canada.
Yeah, it's they have a lot of things, but law of the land, freedom of speech, and freedom of protest.
But they're
Everything. But
surviving, and they're progressing, or whatever you want to call it, right? I mean, it's status quo. Everything is working.
absolutely. But thank you, Vinayji, for joining us. And friends, I want to ask you: do you agree with Vinayji in saying, what do you call? Do you think if your property tax goes up and the interest rate barely comes down, do you think your vote will go for Justin Trudeau? What do you think? He will able to fool Canadians in total? What do you think? Will he get a third term? What is your thought? Do comment and let us know. But till then, see you later. Jai Sri Ram and
Yes, sir.
Vinayji. Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it very, very highly. Jai Sri Ram. Jai Jai Sri Ram.
Thanks.